back to Plow and Pantry and welcome to Thanksgiving Thursdays. Just in case you didn't know, this year, the whole month of November, I'm doing a collaboration with some YouTube friends, and every Thursday for the month of November, we will be doing something Thanksgiving related on our channels. Today, I have 5 great appetizers for you for Thanksgiving Day. And I have a secret to my Thanksgiving appetizers that's different than other events. One of the things I do, I don't do heavy, big appetizers like meatballs and things because we're trying to just stave off the hangry, you know, before the big meal. But there's also a lot of prep on Thanksgiving Day and the day before. So I tend to go with dips and spreads. And that's because most of those can be made ahead of time, refrigerated, and you just bring them out when it's time to put them out there and you can still be working your magic in the kitchen. I'll maybe put some nuts out with it because that doesn't take any prep either, maybe some cheese cubes. But that's one of my secrets to making Thanksgiving Day go smoothly. So today I'm starting with some marinated olives, and I have, where's my bowl? Had to get all my dishes out and wash them, which is another tip for Thanksgiving, is to plan ahead. Learned this in my 20s. Plan ahead what's gonna go in what dish so that you can make sure you have enough serving dishes for everything, right? All right, so this is an easy recipe. You just dump it all together, let it marinate. It's great to go for a couple days ahead of time, and I just bring it out a little bit before Thanksgiving because, well, before I'm gonna set it out for people to eat, to let it come to room temperature. That's my point. So I'm gonna start with olive oil. I should have gotten this stuff out. Some olive oil, I need some minced garlic. You can do fresh, but I'm keeping my fresh stuff for different things. I need an orange peel. Let's see, what else do I need? I think I use rosemary, dried rosemary, and some red pepper. And I think that's all I put in it. All right, so I'm just gonna do about, I'm using 1 jar each of Kalamata olives and the manzanilla olives. Those are the ones that are green and stuffed with pimento. So you can easily double it, add more, what have you. So I'm gonna do about a cup of olive oil and a couple tablespoons of garlic. I love these dump and go recipes. They're so delicious. So about 2 tablespoons of garlic. Get my peeler here for the orange peel, and I actually like to chop this up. So let me get a cutting board so I can make finer pieces. All right, so I only need like a couple of teaspoons for this. I could have used a microplane and made finer bits, but I'm going to need the cutting board anyways. And I actually, for this, I kind of like slightly bigger pieces of the peel in it. Okay, so about probably what equals maybe 2 teaspoons, half a tablespoon type amount. So if you don't have a microplane, just chop things up super duper fine, or use a small section of a grater, like a grating box. That's totally fine too. These are really, really good. Okay, so I'm gonna get that in my bowl. And another bonus to this recipe is I prepare everything in the bowl it's gonna be served in. Less dishes, right? That peel does not wanna get in there. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of rosemary, like, this is dried. You can totally use fresh. I'm using teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of dried, and just a small pinch of red pepper. You could, if you like it spicy, you could of course put more. And I think that that is it. Now it's time. Believe it or not, that is a great amount of flavor. You don't need to put salt in here because pretty much all olives are salted. I'm just gonna drain these, if I can get them open. You could also use different olives. I've put black olives in here before too. I think one year I wanted to double the recipe, and I thought I had more olives in my pantry of the Kalamatas, and I didn't, so I just threw a can of black olives, and it was fine. Okay, the Spanish olives in there. Get the Kalamata olives drained. Get these in there. And then I'm just going to make sure that they're all coated. So that everything gets down into that marinade. And what I'll do over the couple days before Thanksgiving is every now and then when I see them, it'll remind me. I'll just pull them out, like I have a moment when my coffee is rewarming in the microwave or something, and I'll just stir them so that I can keep making sure that the olives on top get down into the stuff underneath. And that's all there is to it. Let me get this into the fridge, and then we'll get started on our next appetizer. Not even 5 minutes, and we've already got one done. Put some stuff away here, because I'm a clean as you go girl. Okay, so for the next dip is a mustard bacon dip. And this is a family favorite. I make it all year long on like our appetizer nights and things. I just cooked up some bacon in the microwave. You can use pre-made bacon bits. Save yourself some time. If you do cook it though, my advice is to cook your bacon a little bit extra dry and crispy. Especially if you're making this ahead. Because you want it to, it's going to be sitting in dip, and you want it to not get too soft. So this is just 4 ingredients. Okay. I was like, where did I put it? The secret to this dip is actually the butter pretzels. I'm sure other brands make them. This is not sponsored. We like the butter snaps. They're little square. Butter is what you're looking for in that. It's just the best thing. It's just, my kids and I all agree, it's just not quite the same if we have a different pretzel. But this is a pretzel dip. Okay, so I'm starting with mayonnaise. Simple ingredients in this one that are in a lot of people's pantries. I've got mayonnaise, Dijon mustard, bacon bits, and horseradish. So that just emptied that jar of mayonnaise. So I've got about a cup of mayonnaise here. And I'm gonna go with about half that in the Dijon mustard. So about half a cup. Just like to tell you the proportion so that if you want to change the amount in the recipe, it's easier for you to do that. Okay, and then the horseradish. We like about 2 tablespoons in ours. This is one of those things that makes things spicier or not. Like a quarter cup maybe would be a good amount. A little bit of a kick, but not too crazy. I'm gonna mix it up now. And then add a couple tablespoons of bacon. I will have all these recipes below in the description box, by the way, along with all the other people participating in this collaboration. Just mix that in. And get it into your bowl, into your fridge, and it's another one ready. So far, even getting things out of the fridge and out of the cabinets off camera, it's been less than 10 minutes. We'll get this put up, and then we will start our next one. Okay, for this next one, I'm doing a salmon spread, and I am using canned salmon here, boneless, skinless. Makes things fast and easy. I'm going to drain this. Get it into a mixing bowl here. This is, okay, I'm going to use a fork for this. flake this with a fork, and this is another just dump and go recipe right here. Just flaking it apart is all I'm doing right there. All right. Then I'm gonna put about half a cup of sour cream, or you could also use creme fraiche in here. Kind of like you would for maybe like a tuna salad. You want that kind of consistency with it. It's the main emollient thing going on here. I'm actually using fairly classic salmon flavors profile for this, just making it into a spread that I will put out with some crackers and some maybe crudité, you know, like some veggies I can chop up ahead of time that would scoop well into there. Get a garbage bowl for my onion here. Need a little bit of really finely chopped red onion. Just a couple of tablespoons. I might be going more for like a quarter cup here. I like red onion. I like that flavor added to it. You could obviously go lighter on it if that's your preference. But this is another simple dump, stir, serve recipe. I only have one that I'm doing that actually takes like a little bit of prep the day of. So we'll call it a bonus. So I'm mincing this up. I'm going as fine as I can really with a knife. That was probably closer to a third cup. Okay. And then I'm going to dump in a few capers. These skinny little jars that capers come in are kind of inconvenient because it's hard to get the capers out without dumping all the brine and stuff too. I'm going with about a tablespoon of capers. Tablespoon or two of lemon juice. Could of course use fresh. I like this stuff I get at Costco. And then I'm back with my horseradish. About a lot less than this one, like 2 teaspoons maybe. And then this. Looks delicious. Get it in the bowl. I always have to sneak a taste right in. Actually, I think it needs a tiny bit more lemon juice. Good thing I tasted it. So lemon juice, I'm gonna sprinkle some salt too. Okay. Then I can get it into my serving bowl. And then I will put the bowl in the middle of a platter with crackers and things around it. Garnish it with some chopped chives. That's good. Number 3 done. 4 and 5 to go. Okay, for this next one, guys, super easy, only 2 ingredients, and I'm gonna make it right inside this container. This is a container of whipped cream cheese. You could use regular and whip it up or do this in a mixer or something like that, but I'm just going for ease, especially around Thanksgiving time. And I'm putting in caramel apple feast mode seasoning. So if you're new to my channel, you may not be up on the feast mode. I love these. They're delicious. I have not tried one I don't like. I do have a code below if you would like 10% off of a purchase to get these. This is, they have fairly clean ingredients. They're low carb. This is just a easy way because they're all mixes. They're not like a single flavor. They're not like just oregano, you know, they're like garden herb. This is a caramel apple one. It's so good. I'm just gonna mix it with cream cheese. I'm starting with a little bit so I don't make a mess. You could also do this in a bigger bowl and it wouldn't be as difficult. I'm just gonna serve this with some sliced apples and some graham cracker, like break them into the little rectangles, you know. And this will be satisfying anyone that needs something a little bit sweet, or if you have people coming who don't eat sugar or low carb, they might be able to do this. I'm trying to think of what you would dip it in. If you don't do sugar, you could use the apples. Low carb, you probably wouldn't want the apples. I don't know if there are any low carb graham crackers out there. But this tub is what, 8 ounces? And I've probably put like 2.5 tablespoons in here. It's so good. It really tastes like a caramel apple. It totally does. All right, so I'm just gonna get this into my dish here. Let me get a spatula. Make it easier on myself. This is gonna go into my dish. I'll put it on a platter with some of those other things I told you about. And sprinkle some extra seasoning on top, just to make it look pretty. And we are ready to do our last appetizer already. Okay, our last recipe here is a baked brie. And normally I would have done that first and let it bake while we were doing the others, but I was waiting for my phyllo dough to thaw a bit so I could work with it. This is a little bit different than your regular baked brie. I always love these round containers and want to keep them, but I really have no use for them. But I think they're adorable. This is not one of those things where you wrap the brie with phyllo dough and bake it. We're actually going to cut this up. This is more of like a layered bar, and when you serve it, you slice it, and people can like finger food pick up a bar. But I need to cut off the rind here. I'm just gonna do a thin slice. Every kind of brand does their own little thing. I'm gonna do a thin slice, kind of all the way around to get this rind off. Before I slice this, I'm gonna get this in the microwave. I need to melt my butter here, get it covered. All right, so I am going to chop this up into fairly small cubes, actually, because I don't want giant lumps in my loaf here. I want it to be like oozy and melty and more like a layer of cheese. This also has some very simple ingredients. We have butter. So you have melted butter, brie, phyllo dough, almonds, fresh basil, orange marmalade, salt, and pepper. That's really all that goes in this. I don't normally make orange marmalade because I don't love it. In this, I like it though, so I just buy it anytime I'm gonna make this. This is the only of the appetizers that I would do the day of, and you really could prep your ingredients ahead. You can make sure that this is thawing. You can make sure that you've got everything set out and ready. You can chop up your brie and have it ready to use. So all you have to do is melt your butter and assemble your little layered bits of goodness here. I'm not being, by the way, seriously uniform about these. It's okay if some bits have a little more puddle of brie, gooey deliciousness than others. I would say most of my things are about a 1/2 inch cube, roundabout. Okay. This is parchment, obviously, and here's where we get to do the fun stuff. All right, I'm going to kind of pinch together these, where the fold lines were. I'm always worried they're gonna come apart. Really, it's not a big deal if they do. It's fine. Okay. And we will get on with the assembly. Let's see, I need a pastry brush. We start with the butter, and we're just layering this stuff all over. I'm going to start with my layer in the middle. Okay, I'm going to layer on some brie. I'm going to use about 1/3 of it. I want to use, I'll probably use more than 1/3, not quite 1/2. Okay, and what I'm trying to do here, this is gonna be sliced this way, so I wanna make sure that there's some brie in each of those bites. All right, I'm gonna sprinkle on some fresh basil. Again, trying to just get a wee bit in the bites. Okay, sprinkle of salt, very light sprinkle of pepper. I'm gonna put on some dollops of orange marmalade here. The oven is preheated to set 375 now. It's waiting for us. Ready when we are. Okay. Then I'm going to fold this over. Trying to go a little past there. Push this down to kind of help seal it. I am going to make sure that this little seam over here, if it was starting to split, I'm gonna try to pinch it together. I'm gonna leave my ends open. Let a little bit ooze out the side just because it's pretty. And then I'm repeating what I did. We've got some butter. Almost the rest of the brie, not quite all of it. It's okay if some things kind of slide downhill right there because it's gonna come back up when we really assemble it. I just realized that I forgot to put my almonds in the last layer. So we will be one layer short of the almonds. That's fine. I'll just stack them into this layer a little bit more. If my basil looks a little bit off to you, that's because we had our first freeze last night. And this is what it looks like in the morning. I picked a whole bunch fresh yesterday to preserve, and I didn't think of keeping a fresh bit for today. But that's okay, it still has a fresh flavor. I tasted it. Orange marmalade here. And So now I'm gonna fold this end up and around and pinch it closed on this side. As good as I can. Some little chunks probably will pop open while baking. That's okay. It's all part of the charm. The phyllo dough brie combination, I feel like, is as old as time, and it's just always been good. All right, I'm gonna brush more butter on top and spread a little more marmalade on top, like a thin layer. And then I'm gonna sprinkle with a couple more almonds. And now we are ready to put it on a baking sheet in the oven. It is going to ooze out a little bit. It's fine, it's fine. Relax. All right, I'm gonna do it's already on a parchment, so I'm just gonna leave it on that and slide it onto here. And since my oven is ready, I'm gonna go stick it in. I'm gonna start with 30 minutes. It can go 30 to 40, we'll see how long it takes. And then that, you let it rest a little bit when it comes out and slice it, and it's beautiful and it's delicious. Those are all 5 of them. We're ready to start plating things. That's amazing. Super fast. Even the one that took the most work, it was super fast. Less than an hour to do all 5 of those. I am gonna start getting out some crackers and slicing up some apples and setting everything up so you can see what it looks like on Thanksgiving Day. Okay, my timer just went off. I've been plating stuff up. Let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah, it's ready. Okay. So now we're gonna let this rest for about 15 minutes before we slice it up and serve it.